Hi, my friends. I have made 4 journals. I'm going to call these wallpaper and embroidery journals because I used vintage wallpaper covers and I used embroidery ephemera from. So I used several different. I've been inspired by so many people lately that have this style, and I'm going to say mostly Ruby and Pearl XO on YouTube. And I actually followed her tutorial on how to make the covers that without a spine. So I'll link her video below so that you could create these as well. So I used some of her papers, but I also had other wallpapers that I used. I'm going to go through them one at a time. I actually have 8. I'm only going to show 4 in this video, and I'll have a separate video for the other 4 because I don't want them to be too long. I'm going to call this one Turquoise. And this one has twine, and it has a really pretty lace and some blue and green sari silk to bind it, and I've collaged wallpaper and some other things on the front and back covers. And let's get inside. These took me so long to make and I had so much fun making them. I'm a little stale on how to do a flip through, but so I've also been inspired by Amity Bloom and Kylie over at Paper Daisy Journals. I believe this paper is from Kylie at Paper Daisy Journals. And so are these tags that have the vintage embroidery on them. And then this is a handmade paper that I've collaged. That's actually from Mrs. Cog. I forget what that kit's called, but and I have a little dangle that's also turquoise with some flowers. So I did a lot of blues in here, and this is more of that sari that was on the spine. I used some tea-stained paper. It's like a wax paper or parchment paper. This is also from Kylie's shop, Paper Daisy Journals. It's a beautiful little postcard. I used some embossed paper here. I have a little Amity Bloom tag that I backed with tea-stained paper. And this is also from Amity Bloom. It's a little like washi strip that I glued on as a little belly band. Some tea-stained paper. Old book page. This is more of Kylie's paper. I use little wallpaper tabs on these little pages. This is from a vintage pad that I had gotten, and there's some beautiful lace on the bottom. I'd gotten this at an antique store. This is a little folder I made. Has a little tag inside, little collage cluster, and I watercolored these flowers. This tag, I followed a tutorial from Ruby and Pearl on using wallpapers to make these beautiful tags. So I included one of those. A little bit of lace, and there's this beautiful little blue trim. So this is a little tuck spot that I made out of a cutout, like the cutouts that I used from these little flowers, die cuts. And then this was an old embroidery book that I got at an antique store, Lessons in Embroidery. And that is in all of them. This is just one of Ruby and Pearl's telegrams. That she has a kit of telegrams, and I just printed it out, and I just folded it over this page so you could use it for some journaling space. It's just so beautiful. I love these roses. Put a little Tim Holtz clip. This is from Amity Bloom. This is also one of her trims. And this is also Amity Bloom's doily kit. So I made little tea-stained backs on these. And this is from Kylie from Paper Daisy Journal. This is a beautiful center spread of botanical book. This is some more of those vintage journals. They're all tea-stained on the back. And this is old ledger paper that you can journal on. This is a little flip out with a book page with a doily. And it has 2 little journaling spots. And then inside this little vellum pocket, I have a tea card, a wildflower. This one's actually a coffee card, I believe. And it has a little Rolodex with a stamp on it. And then with each of them, on the embroidery paper page, I did a little embroidery. It's a little rose. And I just put it on some fabric that I sewed together. And you can use that on the cover if you want, or anywhere throughout your journal. I just paper clipped it in for now. This is some old music sheet. These little messages are from Amity Bloom's digitals. I love this little sweet advertisement. This is just a little doily. Some more of that beautiful trim. This is the other side of that pocket. Just put a little tag in there. Little paper tab there. And this is the book page and some more of that trim. This is another one of those tags that I made with Ruby and Pearl from the Wallpaper collection. I go through these phases where I watch certain artists and totally inspired by her. I have these little dangles that I actually made when I used to do jewelry making. It says inspire with a butterfly. And this is a sweet little envelope that I made with Ruby and Pearl. She had a little tutorial and followed along with that. There's some more of that blue trim. And for all of the books inside, there's a piece of handmade paper and a little piece of note paper. So those are just on the back here. And I tied it up with some beautiful blue trim that I had purchased on Etsy to hold that close. And that's the end of this journal. So let's move on to, I'll call this one green. I love this one. I used these round tabs, and I love the way the round tabs came out. And I used some, I don't know, was this like tan colored sari silk? But they all generally have the same, little different styles, but generally the same. So I'm going to go through these a little quicker. This is one of Amity Bloom's digitals that I just paper clipped over it. You could take it off and journal with it. Little belly band here. And it's actually made of fabric with a cluster on there. A little tag. One of, this is from Kylie's shop. This is from Amity Bloom. Also an Amity Bloom tag. This is the embroidery book page. And this is one of Amity Bloom's lace papers. I think she called it vintage doilies. Put that in there for some journaling. There's a piece of watercolor paper that I had painted on. And I put that in here, and there's this beautiful yellow trim. It's like a yellow floral trim with a cluster. There's another of those paper tags, wallpaper tags. The center is beautiful. Lots of greens. This has a little dangle here of a key. Same trim that's on the side. And on this one, I did some yellows, and I did a little pop of red in there on this little embroidery that I did. My little hand embroidery. And these just have little tags. Some Swiss dot embossed paper. Old book page. This one has a different trim on it. This has a little flip out, and this one also has a little T card. Actually has two little T cards. This is a beautiful image that I think I got this off of the Graphics Fairy. And this is some more of that hand-painted watercolor paper that I made with a little little sentiment from Amity Bloom. And this is a little love pendant. And I'm not going to open this one up, but this is the envelope that I made to go in this pocket. It also has a little note card and some handmade paper. And this one I just love. This, I think, is the one that Ruby and Pearl used this wallpaper on hers. And I fell in love with it, and I had to make one. So I had to use that. And inside this one, this is more of a pink theme. My dog is trying to get my attention next to me. That's what that noise is. There's a little crystal here, dangle. A lot of the same elements from Paper Daisy Journal and Amity Bloom. A little T card in there. And in some of these, I did add some sentiments that you could use throughout your journal and some tabs. This just little avocado stained paper with a little lace piece there. This is some embossed paper with a tag and some little pink rosebud trim. This is the sari silk from the side. On this one, the bottom trim has daisies, which is my favorite. I love daisies. So 2 little tickets in there with a cluster. And this one has a little cigarette tag. There's my little, I did rose and pink hand stitching there. Little tuck spot. Some embellishments on the bottom. Wallpaper trim. At the center of this one. This is a Tim Holtz die cut that I painted with watercolors. Get that pink theme throughout. This is just a little Amity Bloom and Paper Daisy journal. There's some trim from a hanky that I put on there. And this just has 2 little pieces that you could use for journaling tucked in there. This was a little pocket I made, and I folded up some of that tea-stained vellum or you know, it's the stuff you use for tea dyeing parchment. And this has a few tags in here. This one's from Amity Bloom. And these all fit inside that pocket. This is another one of those little tabs with a Tim Holtz little clasp clip on some packaging paper. This has a little receipt tucked in. This little cluster with a Tim Holtz die cut and some embossed paper. There's some more of those little daisies. So this one has, it has your little cigarette card and some little trim pieces and sentiments. And then it also has a journaling card with avocado paper in the back. This is also from Paper Daisy Journal. She has the most beautiful papers, as does Ruby and Pearl. And this one says Dream, and it has a little crystal on it. And this is the envelope that I made to go with this book. Some more embossing, beautiful trim. Put the little trim on top. And the last one, oh, these are both pink. I guess I'll call this one pink and this one white in my Etsy shop. So let's go in this one real quick, and then I'll take the dog upstairs because he really wants me to. This has some beautiful little lace on the edge and some pale pink sari. I'm going to go through this one really quick. Also a couple little crystal beads. This is also for Paper Daisy Journals. A little bit of the sari that matches the spine. And this has some trim on the bottom of the tea-stained paper. Two little tags back there. This could be a little tuck spot if you want. This has some embossed paper with some tags. There's your parchment, an old book page, and a piece of watercolor paper. This is one of those tags that I made with Ruby and Pearl. Some more beautiful trim. There's the center, has the pink ribbon through it. And this one has three little journaling cards. This is all from Amity Bloom. And on this side it has an Amity Bloom sentiment and a beautiful watercolored die cut that I made. Here's some more of those extra sentiments you can use throughout. And here's that book page. This is from Amity Bloom. It's a from her doily kit. Use that as a journaling card. There's your embroidery. Oh, I love this sweet little girl. I believe I got this one also from Graphics Fairy, but I'm not positive. But how sweet is she? So cute. And that's just paper clipped on. A little cluster on the bottom. This is from Amity Bloom's doily kit. I think it's called Doily Ephemera. Oh, and this is from, so this is a little belly band I put here with a tiny little envelope that you could open up and do some journaling in. I just thought that was so cute. And I tucked that in over there. It's also got two little tags. And Paper Daisy Journal paper. And this is the beautiful envelope that I made for this book. I love the way these came out. They're just so beautiful. And I thank Ruby and Pearl for the inspiration. This says peace on this little butterfly. It also has a little crystal on it. And that's the back cover. So those are the first 4. I hope you love them. And we'll see you soon. I'll show you the next 4 in the next video. Bye.